this video I'm going to talk about the unfamiliar emotions that make you want to reach out to the abuser and help you process what's happening so that you can start to take back some control over your life while you learn the tools to heal on a deeper level. Welcome to the Divorce Sanctuary. I'm your host, Elizabeth Goddard, author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse. On this channel, I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing emotionally from the abuser. I'm here to remind you that love should be unconditional. Divorcing emotionally is life-changing, and that you have a duty of care to yourself, and it should be your mantra. Each week, I will discuss some of the terms you may hear along this journey, and I will help you to understand and process what is happening inside you. I will help you find the best habits, discover the best tools, and put in place the best rituals as you start to take back the control of your own life and learn the tools to heal on a deeper level, becoming the best version of yourself. Everything described in this video you'll find in the description box below. When you come out of a toxic relationship, there are so many things going on in your body and your mind. Make sure you stay to the end, as I will share with you a very simple technique to help you with your healing. So when you come out of these toxic relationships, there's so much going on. And just like a drug addict or someone trying to give up an addiction, you have cravings. Only your craving is a person. You're trapped and you had no idea this abuse was going on. We develop bonds for survival in childhood, usually with our caregiver, who's the foundation of our attachment. So when our safety is threatened in some way, we turn to them for support and protection. Trauma bonding is one of the reasons it's so hard to heal from toxic and emotionally abusive relationships. The damage caused puts you in a state of confusion as you had no idea the abuse was taking place. And if you've experienced this type of abuse during your childhood, it feels very familiar to you. You might find yourself wanting to contact them or feeling so very lonely. You believe that they were your best friend. You miss them so much. Trauma bonding was used by the emotional abuser or toxic person to enable them to gain power and control over you. And during the idealization stage, they position themselves as a caregiver, showering you with attention, gifts, maybe meals out, days out. They manufactured a love that you may never have experienced before. They started devaluing you with slight put-downs, triangulation, or gaslighting. And you may have rationalized their behavior, believing they cared for you, creating even more bonding. And this is the reason that you're so connected to them. And when the relationship ends, you wonder how you will survive. When they threatened your safety through their bad behavior, you turn to them for help and protection. And you rationalize their behavior, believing they actually cared about you, creating further bonding. And this is why you feel so connected. When that friendship or relationship finishes, your stress levels are so high, you experience fear. You can't imagine life without them. There's a childhood wound, or there might be a few, that allowed this to happen. Much like a physical wound, these emotional wounds hurt and they cause us pain during our lives. It might leave us without the emotional coping mechanism others have, and it might be the reason you don't feel whole. By tracking down the wounds and allowing them to heal, you can start to feel whole again and break the cycle. You were possibly so dependent on the abuser that you don't know how to function out of the relationship. You might be fighting off the need to speak to them or make contact with them. You won't be alone, I promise you. After enticing you into a relationship, they see you, they hear you. They listen to every word and they are fascinated and intrigued by you. They built up a book of knowledge about you. And when it feels safe, they set about taking you on a journey. They take you around the cycle of abuse. From idealization, you experience devaluation. This feels strange at first. They aren't the person you thought you were talking to, but they calm you with their words of how they were joking, or they tell you that you're too sensitive. They shift you back to the idealization stage again, and you feel safer there. And then you may find yourself back, either being devalued or discarded in some small way. This feels unfamiliar to you with this partner, but not exactly unfamiliar. You have experienced it before in other relationships. You might know on a subconscious level how to deal with this. You learnt this tool during your childhood. And you receive mixed messages in this relationship. You have no idea that you're being regressed back. You have moments of clarity where you can adult, but gradually you're losing this ability as this person takes you back. They now step into the role of parent and caregiver. If you've gone through crucial development stages, but unknowingly you're being rewound and reprogrammed, you lose the ability to be you. You no longer have the ability to make decisions. These relationships are so insidious. They move so fast but incredibly slow. You're propelled through the getting to know you stages, but the abuse is done over a long period of time. The abuser was acting like an earworm, constantly feeding you with information, undermining you and telling you what to think and how to feel. Who you are, who you should be, what you should be doing, who you should spend time with. And you might now feel abandoned and feel very alone with emotions that are so unfamiliar, wanting to reach out to them. You might be wanting to cause them the same pain that you're experiencing. And you might be wanting to be back in the relationship because it feels safer there. You might feel dead inside, but also in excruciating pain. As children, we're sponges, and everything we're told and we're shown becomes part of our belief system. Everything we hear, see, feel is taken on as the truth. The adults in our lives are supposed to be there as protectors. But what if they don't play that role and they play the role of abuser? If the child experiences trauma, be it physical or emotional, it causes them a wounding. And with the emotional wounds, although not visible, they're very painful. If someone hurts you intentionally or unintentionally, this needs to be acknowledged. The emotions not minimized. If we learn as a child to dismiss how we feel and concentrate on everyone else, we're learning not to say anything, not to rock the boat, and we're learning to walk on eggshells around certain people. These learned behaviours are what keeps us trapped in relationships that are unhealthy. But we don't see it because we've been told to ignore our feelings. The emotional abuser receives an emotional wound and learnt the way to protect themselves was to project outward and never feel hurt again. They probably experienced some form of abandonment or perceived abandonment from their caregiver and experienced shame and guilt. Every situation that they face from that point, they project outward. We're all born believing we're the centre of our universe, and our behaviour proves that. We yell and scream to get our needs met, and this is crucial for our survival. We alert our caregivers to our basic needs of food and water, the need to feel more comfortable, or that we need to sleep, or needs love and attention. And this is very possibly what you're experiencing at the moment when you want to reach out to them. We go through various developmental stages that prepare us for life and the world that we are to live in. But toddlers who suffer neglect or indulgence will leave this stage without having completed it. And as they mature, they still maintain a toddler's self-perception. I've often described the abuser as a damaged child, and if you watch their behaviour, you will see what age this damage occurred. They are children in adults' bodies. But the young child having a tantrum isn't as scary as an adult behaving in this way. They still live in a world where they believe it revolves around them, constantly needing validation and attention. They go on to spend their lives creating relationships and friendships where they will not be abandoned, because they were either abandoned at this stage or they've experienced guilt or shame and abandoned themselves. All children need approval, attention, and unconditional love. You are now screaming out in pain as a child does. The abuser has stripped you of everything and undone all your learning, taking you back emotionally to childhood, and they've left you there in an adult body with the coping mechanism of a child. They have walked away and they leave the earworm in place, and having stripped you of every asset you have. They are thieves of time, money, emotions, responsibility, and they walk away playing the victim. Do you remember the look out the corner of the eye, checking you bought their story, that you were falling for their fake tears? Someone else is sitting next to them right now, witnessing the same. When you're in pain and want to reach out, that is the time you need to reach in. You need to nurture this child. And you can do this by listening to her or him. They need your attention. By starting in this moment, asking how old they are and what they need, you start your healing journey. And this is a crucial part to repairing the damage that's been caused and taking yourself back through the developmental stages again you will regress through. It will reduce the pain. Treat yourself as you would a toddler. Take a nap if you need to. Planet Sark's How to Really Love a Child. Be there. Say yes as often as possible. Let them bang pots and pans if they're crabby. Put them in water. If they're unlovable, love yourself. Realise how important it is to be a child. Go to a movie theatre in your pyjamas. Read books out loud with joy. Invent pleasures together. Remember how really small they are. Giggle a lot. Surprise them. Say no when necessary. Teach feelings. Heal your own inner child. Learn about parenting. Hug trees together. Make loving safe. Bake a cake and eat it with no hands. Go find elephants and kiss them. Plan to build a rocket ship. Imagine yourself magic. Make lots of forts with blankets. Let your angel fly. Reveal your own dreams. Search out the possibility. Keep the gleam in your eye. Mail letters to God. Encourage silly. Plant licorice in your garden. Open up. Stop yelling. Express your love a lot. Speak kindly. Paint their tennis shoes. Handle with care. Children are miraculous. You are miraculous. Find the adult version. Listen to this child. You can start reparenting with them. Very simple questions. How old are you? What is it that you need? I hope you found this video useful. It's such a painful experience, but so useful. It's the start of the reparenting, and you can repair any damage that was done to you in childhood here. If you'd like to find out more ways of working with me, the links will be below in the description box, and I'm sending you loads and loads of love.